This episode of Juice Guru Radio is brought to you by Try Best, making healthy living easy.
Welcome to Juice Guru Radio. Discover what the magic and power of juicing can do for you. And now, your host, best-selling author of The Complete Idiot's Guide to Juice Fasting, Steve Prusak.
Hello, welcome to the show. I'm Steve Prusak. We got Julie Ward coming up right after this. She's the food Alchemist Plant-Based Wizard. She can be here on the show, help you find energy, joy, and health through habit hacks. We can hear all about that and more. So grab a juice, some water, or tea. We'll be back right after this with Julie Ward.
Did you know you can make a great living in the hottest new business trend today? The Juice Guru Certification Program is the world's first online course to give you the knowledge and marketing skills to excel as a juicing coach and start making money in no time. Find out more at juicecoachtraining.com.
Juice Guru Radio.
Well, we're here and we're back. It's the spirituality of food, breath, gratitude, and vibration of food with Julie Ward. She's here on the show. Let's bring her on right now. I don't want to tease anymore. Julie, welcome to Juice Guru Radio.
How are you?
Well, you know, I had to do all the fancy announcement stuff. Welcome to the show, though.
Yeah, hey, it's great to be here. I'm really happy to be on the Juice Guru.
Well, it's a lot of fun, and the work you're doing, too. Now, you talk about high vibration food. How do we define that? And before we even get into that,
okay,
let's talk a little about you. How did you get into this journey of the work you're doing now? Let's hear a little about your story.
Okay, yeah. So, you know, I have all my life, I guess I gave up meat in 1987, a long time ago. And I gave it up because it just didn't digest well with me. And back then, a lot of the microbiome stuff wasn't well known. People didn't know it was because of low stomach acid or, you know, what have you. It was just, you know, I couldn't go to the bathroom. I was always gassy and always constipated. So at some point it's like, something's got to change. Something's got to give. And I started to look at my food and learned a lot more about food and went on the journey of truly understanding food, understanding herbs, understanding plants, and have not gotten off the journey yet. And I love every minute of it. Yeah. So
there was some inspiration where you hit a moment of truth where you found out that the food you're eating wasn't digesting, wasn't resonating with you. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it wasn't resonating with me, wasn't digesting. I was depressed as a kid, you know, and all of that it's all connected. So as I began to change my diet, I began to feel better. I began to understand things. And it was like, oh, wow, it's the food. I mean, you know, there's some other elements, but the food is huge, 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 huge.
Amazing. So you were able to see a connection between the food you're eating and even the depression as a kid.
Yeah, well, everything, you know, happens in the gut. So disease, health, it all begins right here in our tummies. And every time I ate something, and to be honest, even now, if I overeat or I eat too much of something, I don't feel good the next couple of days. I mean, there's a direct correlation I have in my body about what I eat and how I feel.
Overfed and undernourished. Welcome to
always. And over-medicated. Over-medicated is another one.
You got to have that in there too. Woo! What better solution? So let's talk about the definition of high vibration food. What do you mean by that?
So for me, high vibration food, so first of all, everything living has a vibration. So even Albert Einstein has said that, you know, food emits a subtle radiation wave. So foods, our bodies, everything live does. So when you talk about a high vibration food, you're talking about a food that's nutrient dense and that it's going to nourish your body and it's alive and it's going to give you what you need. So it's also going to help you detox. It's just really going to help your body reset to where it's supposed to be. You know.
Well, for you, how did you discover which resonate with you? And is it the same for most people? Are there just certain foods that we say, you know what, that's a high vibration food, we should consume more of that?
I think, so for me, and this is my aha moment, I think on my diet, you know, I've been great eating plant-based, eating things, but wasn't always eating a lot of leafy greens. Granted, I gave up the meat, you know, you still do rice, I did a lot of grains, I still did a lot of beans, I still didn't feel totally great, but one day, I think I was really tired, might have even missed a meal, and I had one of the best salads that I could have had in a long time. I made it and had all leafy greens, all herbs, and the minute I ate it, I jumped up from the table like, oh, wow, this is what food's supposed to do. This is what I need to do every day. Now let me go get my work done. I mean, there's an instant feeling. My brain was alive. I was happier. I felt better. And so it is instant. I believe it's instant. And now, granted, if you're putting a lot of junk in your body, sometimes you might need to totally get off of some of that, give your body a chance to detox before you feel that, oh my God, I can take on the world feeling. But in the meantime, there is an instant energy. But if you do a lot of spirulina, you eat spirulina, you know there's an instant, wow, my brain's awake. You know, I can connect. I'm ready to go.
Yes,
so that's
or the chlorella, some of those organic ocean greens.
You got it. And the dark leafies, like I'm a dandelion, arugula, mixed green salad fan in my smoothie. It just packed the Vitamix, you know. So all of that, it's like people are like, oh, I drink coffee in the morning to turn me on. I do this and I turn off. You know?
I love it because, you know, here's the good news.
Okay.
A lot of people are waking up to the idea, even the mainstream, that, you know what, something's wrong. Only 9% of Americans are getting their fruits and vegetables. And what can I do? I know that people that are eating plant-based look and feel better, but how do I start to do it? And it's still the brunt of jokes, but I think for a lot, they're waking up. They're saying, how do I get more of this into my diet? Do you find the same?
I do find the same. It's a constant question. I mean, and people are always like, I'm willing to give up meat. You know, it's how do I feel better? People are now beginning to wake up and realize that a pill is not the answer. You know, we went through that phase in America where a pill was the answer for everything. And now we actually have chronic illnesses that are based on dietary reasons and not disease or not, you know, viruses and that kind of thing. So, and pills don't work for that. So what do? You've got to change your diet. And people are like, oh, I have to change my diet. And develop a new lifestyle. That's the other thing. A lot of people, sometimes it's not just, it's how do I do this over and over and over again all the time? Every day. What do I need to do in my life?
How would somebody know if they're eating a high vibration food? Because I know I could talk to my friend Eric and he'll be like, you know what, Steve, I ate a steak and that felt like pretty good high vibration to me. It felt so good.
So
that's what Eric will tell me.
I bet he will. Then I'll ask him, did he go to sleep? Did he want a nap? Is he ready to take a 15 minutes?
Yeah, it was such a good vibration that it required a nap.
It required a nap. Anything that's going to waylay you is not a good vibration food. I mean, that's kind of easy. Normally people who eat steak, they do need a minute after the table, right? They don't want to get up and go do anything. It's like, oh, my food has to digest. It's da-da-da-da. Well, that's true. But on a plant-based diet, you eat, you're ready, you can eat, you go, okay, let me just sit still. You almost can't sit still, you know? You almost can't sit still after you've gotten that energy. You're like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? Things that are going to, like you said, steak, it's going to slow him down. It's going to feel good. It was great. It was tasty. I mean, yeah, I can imagine. Meat eaters love their steak. They love the spices, the gravy, everything. But at the end of the day, they're going to have to sit still for about a half hour. You and I can eat a salad and be like, okay, we'll catch you in 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. And here's the other thing. You know, people will get into this plant eating thing for different reasons, whether it be for health, animal rights, or the environment.
Right.
And I've seen in the animal rights movement and the environmental, you know, the people that didn't get into it for health, that there can be like junk food plant eaters, like eating Pop-Tarts, Twinkies, French fries, you know, a lot of that kind of food, but still feeling like they're doing good for the planet. What do we say to them? Because doesn't it all tie together?
It does. So processed food is one of the lower vibration foods, you know, so they're also not well. A lot of those junk food vegans and junk food plant-based eaters are getting sick. And then a lot of times they'll blame it on a plant-based diet and then go back to eat the other way. And that's not necessarily the thing. It's how you eat. It's the organics, it's the fruits, it's the veggies, it's the juices, it's the green leafies. And yeah, you're saving the planet, but I'm gonna take a leap here. I don't know. Are you saving the planet that much if you're eating processed food, if you're eating the chemicals, if you're eating the things that are coming in plastic, if you're eating the stuff that's packaged? Where's all that stuff going? We're still putting it in the landfills. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, as opposed to getting a salad, growing it, eating it, and you're done. But there's a lot of chemicals and a lot of processed food, even the healthier foods. I urge people to read the labels. If you can't pronounce it and you don't know what it is, don't eat it. Don't eat it. If it's not a food thing.
With it. You know, an awakening with the right, the high vibration food, there's an awakening. And so when we do connect the dots, there is another level of operation.
Yeah, you're connected. You're going to want to connect with people. You're going to want to connect with nature. Your awareness, your conscious awareness begins to expand and evolve. You begin to think about things you might not have thought about before. You feel lighter in your body. You feel lighter after a meal. I mean, there's a direct correlation to the food we eat and our immediate energy, and that's how I do it. And those of us, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have a few words to share with you and to see what your response is to what this triggers for you. Right. Paleo, keto, bulletproof coffee. These are things that I'm going to tell you health coaches and some of the institutes today are promoting these diets and saying, and I've heard even some health coaches saying, I've tried eating plants and let me tell you guys, this is the way to go. And I see their videos and I see people getting on the bandwagon saying, yeah, you're right. And how do we answer to the misinformation out there that's coming from a lot of money invested into creating these fads, BS trends, and powders, potions, and pills?
I know, and there's so much information out there, and it is really hard. And even from a medical standpoint, you have different groups of doctors that will tell you different things. You have different groups of health coaches that will tell you different things. I think two things. I think that, one, whatever you're going to eat should feel good to you, and I think that's an instant. And not just because it tastes good. There's a quote. Let's see, I have it in my notes. I'll take a look at it later. But it's like, it doesn't have to taste good for it to be good for you. People always get caught up in how it's supposed to taste. And eventually, as you go and you change your taste buds to eat healthier, your taste buds will adjust. It's not about it's going to taste that way forever. That's one thing. Two, when you are changing your diet, you should feel some instant things. And yes, the keto, the paleo, all of that will give an immediate kind of energy and you'll feel better. But on a long term, and the real problem is the data's not there yet. I mean, we don't have 20-year data of keto and paleo yet. We will. And there are some doctors that are really looking at what that really does do to your body. So, but if you want to be safe, when you're talking, and that kind of goes back to the spirituality of food. What was there time immemorial? We're talking vegetables, we're talking fruits and veggies. Yes, there were some meats. I'm not saying, I'm a plant-based vegan and you know it, and we get that. But at the end of the day, you have to really watch your food. You have to really kind of tune in. And if you're eating the right high vibration foods, you do tune in. Your body will tell you, don't do this. This isn't a good thing. Stop this. And sometimes I think people have that instant or they have that moment, but because the health coach or because the person they're following tells them to do this, they continue down that path. So anybody I work with, how does it feel to you? I know how it should feel. I know how it feels to me. But how does that feel to you? And what do we need to adjust? Because you have to eat this every day of your life for optimum health. We need to figure out what that looks like for you. And, keto and paleo, it works for the time being. But to have a life without an abundance of fruits and veggies and that in your body is going to cause some problems later on, and people just don't know that yet.
Right. So intuition's an important part of that. And we can also look to similar diets like Atkins, which is similar to paleo, and he died of heart disease, Dr. Atkins.
Yes, he did.
Look at things like that and say, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. But no judgment. And we always say everyone's on a journey, and people watching right now, I mean, in the Juice Group community, you're getting your juices in your body, and we're just saying, eat more plant food, eat more nutrient-rich food, and nutrient-rich food. And Julie is saying high vibration food, and we're going to find out how to eat more high vibration food in just a minute here, including how to start your day on high vibration and maintain it, because it's all about how you feel. And we say try it for yourself. No judgment or dogma here on Juice Guru Radio.
So clarity, no judgment for real. I mean, I always work with people where they are. Some people want to eat meat, but they want to figure out the veggies piece. And I'm like, perfect. Get your veggies in, get your smoothies in, get your juices in, because that will offset what you're doing over here, to be honest.
That's exactly it. Yeah. That's exactly it. So we got Julia Ward here, Full Alchemist Plant-Based Wizard. I got her website right here. I'm going to read it off for you. I'm going to have the link over at juicegururadio.com under the show notes, but it's freshfoodalchemy.com, or put a / and podcast for her special gifts for you. It's freshfoodalchemy.com / podcast. But don't worry, we'll have the links up for you over at Juice Guru Radio. And Julie, we're having a lot of fun here today. Yes. Broadcasting right down the street from each other here, huh?
I know, right? It's really nice. Nice to know you're nearby.
Tell me, how? Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to see you in one of these high vibration restaurants, because we're thankful to have those out here, aren't we? We're grateful.
Right.
So how do you start the day with high vibration food, and how can someone maintain it? So what are some of your tips, tricks, hacks, and strategies? Okay.
So for me, I start today, I always kind of wake up when I realize where I am, which is normally in my bed, and I go, okay, I'm back. It's like, this is a great day. I do my gratitude, I breathe, and if I have to make a smoothie, I make one, or I've got one in the refrigerator ready to go. And I appreciate it. It's like, I am thankful that I'm here. So it's always a matter of level of gratitude and what I'm getting ready to do, what I'm getting ready to take into my body. There's breathing. I kind of just set myself still for a minute and reconnect with the universe, with energy, for me, spirit, whatever that is for you. You just take a minute, be quiet, and I drink my smoothies. And I'm on for, and I do a 16-ounce smoothie in the morning. I'm on until, and that could be like 7 or 8. To be honest, I'm on till 12. I don't get hungry. I've got water in between there. Water is another really important thing for hydration for our bodies, to be able to receive nutrients. And then I've got a lovely herb salad. It's got all the herbs in the world in it. It's got all the veggies, leafy greens I can find, dandelion, arugula, watercress. And when you mentioned the podcast, the list, one of the gifts for your audience is a nutrient-dense veggie list. So this is a nutrient-dense veggie list that was actually done by the CDC. And so it's already been studied for like the top 17 vitamins, and it's a list of 46 fruits and veggies. So I always make it a point to grab everything I can from that list. And watercress, by the way, is number 1. So watercress is the number 1, has 100% of all the fruits and veggies. Just put it in there, get it, and I drink that. And I may do that again in the afternoon. I have a salad with pretty much with the same greens that I have in my smoothie.
What are you putting on for the dressing? So people might be saying, well, what kind of dressing are you putting on there? Because people could blow it right there.
Totally. Yeah, glad you asked. So I use coconut aminos, coconut secrets, amino acids, and lemon. And if I want to make my own dressing, I'll do like hemp hearts with avocado, maybe some olives. So that's all my fat is right there on top of my dressing. Do I put a little water? Because I don't necessarily do a lot of oil. But you could put a great quality olive oil in with that. And that's your fat with a little coconut aminos and some spices and salt. And that's it. And that salad will, if I don't do that, I just do coconut aminos and lime or lemon juice. I'll do avocado.
Nice. And then then you're doing a nut. So two of those herb salads a day.
Yeah, 2 of those herb salads a day. And then for the evening, I do either a soup or I get a little creative. I might have made a sesame seed pate. It looks like meat to me. Tastes like meat, like a ground. And then I decide that maybe I want to do that as a roll or a sandwich or something like that. I love curry soup, so oftentimes I got a pot of curried soups, which has got veggies in it, like okra and green beans, and what else is in there? I put dandelion on the top, and I saute with fennel. I do a little fennel. Sometimes I do without onions, so I'll do fennel. I may put carrots in there, and I'll do that. So I soup and then a little quinoa. So that's it.
Nice. Now you said sesame seed or sunflower seed pate?
Sunflower seed is what I meant to say. I said sesame seed. Yeah.
Maybe I heard you wrong. But so sunflower seed. So someone's saying, how do you whip up a pate like that? What would you throw in there in the food processor? So you put in some sunflower seeds.
I've soaked sunflower seeds. So the sunflower seeds are soaked the night before. I'll put that in. But before I put that in, honestly, whatever seaweed I have at home. So I'll do a sea lettuce. I'll do a nori. I'll do a wakame, a dulse. I'll put like 2 good handfuls of the seaweed. Turn my blender on so that gets powdered. And then put in the sunflower seeds. I put a little extra tahini, so that's kind of a little bit of the liquid. I season it with, what do? I season it with smoked paprika. Hinzi Spices has a Turkish spice that I love, that it has that real kind of Middle Eastern-y flavor to it. I put that in there. A Simply Organic all-purpose seasoning. I season it with that. What else I put? A little brown rice vinegar, just a little bit for acid. And I mix it all together and add salt to my taste. And then I put some more smoked paprika on top. It's good.
Love pates. I mean, you can do so much. Just a salad with a little bit of pate and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's like my, sunflower seed. There's my protein. There's my fat. I've got my seaweed in there. It's just, and that's what we're talking about, the whole the junk food. Vegans, it's like, you really can eat this way. Obviously, we do it, but it's like how people just don't know. No, to put the seaweed stuff in, to put the other things, to put the protein, to raise their vibration. I mean, and that's a raw salad. I mean, a couple of times a day, I'm eating raw. That live food.
Exactly. That is high vibration because you're getting the living food. Isn't that it?
Yeah, totally alive. Totally alive.
We got to get some juices in you, too. I got to get you a juicer over there.
I'll take one. I love juices.
Love it. We're here with Julie Ward. And Julie, it's been great to have you. Before we end, though, what I want to talk about next is we have a program where we certify people to become certified juice therapists, where they educate people to get healthy with juicing. And it's a real revolution because it's an uphill battle against some of the marketing out there that gets people unhealthy. What about you and now the work you're doing and living your passion, becoming an entrepreneur? What kind of advice can you have for people that are now stepping into, I want to get people healthy too. How are you, what made you decide to start being an entrepreneur and living your passion? And what kind of advice do you have for someone starting out and down that road?
Okay. So for me, a couple of things. It's a little hard to walk by somebody who knows not doing well, and you can tell, you can look. It's the energy that comes off of people. You can see when people aren't well, and it's kind of hard to move about my life and not say, how do I help? What can I do for you? What do you need? And so for me, that's a big part of it. I had family members, my mom and my dad passed a little too early for me, and I think they could have been better. They went the doctor route, they went the medication route, as opposed to the food route. And it's just like,
Well, let me stop you there because you're touching on something that we can all relate to there. And did you try to intervene knowing they were going down a path that most likely wasn't going to work?
I did. And different generations, different people believe different things. You can do so much, but eventually people decide. And that is, as you know, kind of it's a challenging part of what we do because you're not with people 24/7 and people are going to make their own decisions. My goal is to give people enough information so that they can make an educated decision based on what they know. So not what marketing is giving them, not what the TV is giving them. And oftentimes like that nutrient dense list, because people still want to know, well, where does the information come from? Who did you? So I'm a researcher by trade and academic. So that's what I love to do. So I can give it to people and say, hey, this is where this came from. Here's the study. Now, you're not going to read the study, but trust me, I'm going to take that study and put it in layman's terms so that you can understand it. So I think that's a good part of it, letting people know that it's real. And some people say, well, if this is, I get it and I see it, but how come they don't tell us that? How come we're getting this information over here? It's not, the system's not designed for us to be healthy through that, path. So you asked me another question. I hope I didn't digress.
Yeah, so in deciding to make that decision between, because you wanted to help your friends and family, but then you wanted to help maybe even more people. So you've decided to make this into a business. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, because again, getting the information out there is important. Just letting people know. First of all, it is about the food. Then it's about, how do I eat healthy? How do I stay healthy? How do I eat high vibration food that allows me to live my purpose? And, talking about other people, allows me to live my purpose and do what I need to do in life and stay and have the energy and not gain 30 pounds in 10 years. And, because if you're eating right, your body's automatically going to go to its natural weight. It's not about eating to lose weight. It's eating to change your life and to truly heal your body, And for me, that's the message always. Food can do that. And why not do something I love? Why not, be about the message and tell people and have that be what I do every day? That sounds like a good life to me.
Exactly. A purpose-driven life. I mean, what better than that? And it's funny because I'm thinking you're over there in where I used to work, which is kind of ironic and funny, but I used to be in that cooperative working space. And I'm thinking back as you're talking to, once a week they would bring in the most low vibration food. And you're in a place there for entrepreneurs that are brimming with possibility. And every week they'd come in with the donuts and the pizza and they'd all gather around in the kitchen. And I felt like I don't belong in this environment. Like I don't get it, and that's a hard thing, right? It's hard to come up against it and see in your day-to-day people that are not taking advantage of what's right before us. Isn't that right?
I know. It's very hard. All you can do is be an example.
That's right.
The more you're an example, people will ask you questions. People will ask questions all the time. So I have a list of questions that eventually I'm going to either do a Facebook Live or put it in a book. There's all kind of stuff. So if you're there, people, like you said, there's an awakening. People want to know.
That's true.
People want to know now.
It's Julie Ward. She's rocking it, a living example of what it means to live a high vibration diet. And that's what the attraction factor is. I mean, you see Julie and you say, wow, what is she taking? What has she got? Does it come in a bottle? And then they find out, no, it doesn't. You're not going to find it on late night TV.
Right.
You're not going to find it on late night TV. Julie, anything to say in closing before we wrap it up here? It's been delightful to have you here on the show.
It's been great. I am so glad I was able to come on. I'm so glad you had me on. And just for everybody out there listening, come to the website. There's some gifts for you. There's some information on nutrient-dense foods that I think you should all have. And even if you just make that one switch and take some food off of that list and put it in your smoothie, you are well on your way. And that's important.
And that, again, is freshfoodalchemy.com. You can put that / for podcast to get the free gifts. But that's the website. I'm going to opt in and get that nutrition list myself. We work with Dr. Furman over here, and I love his philosophy of a nutrient-rich diet. We're talking high vibration with Julie Ward here on Juice Guru Radio. Julie, thank you for the work you're doing, and it was great to meet you. Thank you for being here on the show.
Can I say one more thing? I forgot to mention this. I got
of
2
course,
seconds.
Please.
Yeah. So on that same list, there's 2 other things. One is there's also a 5-day plant-based challenge. There's a decreased amount. So it was 97. It's 47 for you guys, and it's 5 days of. It's in the same page. It's 5 days of plant-based dinners. So if you haven't done plant-based yet, it's a great way to start. Make it your last meal of the day. It's got grocery lists and everything. And then there's also a way to work with me and get a free 30-minute consultation. So that's what I think. Yeah,
and that's it. Shabam and shaboom. Thank you for being here again. I'm Steve Prusak, and thank you all for tuning in. No matter where in the world you live, we're reaching all over the world. It's a revolution. Thank you for being part of it. Much love. Thank you again, Julie.
Okay.
Take care, everyone. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Juice Guru Radio. Find out more about us at juicegururadio.com. Until next time, get your juice on.